feel as if a lot of times we're told that it's wrong to fail, that you aren't supposed to fail. You know, everything has to be done perfect on the first try. You know, you only live once, so it should be perfect, and that doesn't necessarily work. It doesn't necessarily play out like that because, you know, we're human, we have mistakes, we don't know everything. So I feel as if a lot of times we beat ourselves up because of that fact, because of the fact that we believe we have to get it right the first time, or there's something wrong with us, or there's something that we did wrong, or something, you know, we don't know, or we judge ourselves and criticize ourselves for not knowing and making mistakes. But when in reality, it's like we've always made mistakes every single day. It's like, you know, if we're putting ourselves in new challenges, new circumstances, or a new environment, it's like we'll make mistakes. Always. We'll always make mistakes. And there's nothing wrong with that. If anything, it's a great thing, because it's like, it shows that we're trying to improve. It shows that we're trying to grow, trying to be something more. So it's like, it's a lot. It's a lot because we're often told that it has to be done right. It has to be done right on the first try. And if not, you get punished. If not, you get told to do it again, start over, or you're doing it wrong, or move out the way, I'll do it. Sometimes we aren't allowed space to fail. Sometimes we aren't. You know, if someone tells us, try this, and you mess up, and they're just like, let me take it over. Let me just do it, since you don't know how to. It's like, of course I don't know how to. I'm still beginning. I'm still learning. Like, and even so, we have to, even as we grow up too, it's like we have to allow ourselves to make mistakes. You know, intentional ones. What I mean by that is like, you know, we want to try something new. Of course we're gonna mess up. We're a beginner. You know, we're bad until we aren't. So it's like, that's what I mean, intentional mistakes. It's like, that is bound to happen, but it comes with the territory. It comes with starting something new. And I understand that. So, you know, it's just something I feel as if there's so many things to it where it's like we grow up and we're told just to be right, always be right. And if we're not right, there's something wrong with us. But we aren't our mistakes. We aren't, you know, the failure. It just happened. It was just a byproduct of not knowing what to do. And a lot of times I feel as if we attach ourselves to failing. You know, we say, I'm a failure instead of I failed. You know, we place our value on that, or we say we are that. Like, no, you're not a failure. You just failed. You had a little mistake. So you can keep going. It's not the end of the world. Look around. You're still alive. You're still breathing. You know, and of course I can't deny the fact that some mistakes are bigger than others. I can't deny that some things are. You know, like, I could just give an example, like a pilot. They have to know. But think about it. It's an accumulation of everything we've done. Everything adds up. Pilots, they aren't just put into the spot. They have training. They have lessons. They are taught what to do. And, you know, you don't expect them to get everything right the first time. They have training for that. Because it's like, you can't just say, oh, I'm going to be a pilot. And then just, you do it and it's like, oh, wow, I know how to fly a plane. Like, no, there's processes and steps that need to take place. And I feel as if a lot of times what can really put us in a shell, what can really just make us closed off is just, I hate to say it, but our parents at times, or our environment, the people around us. Because it's like, I remember I just would want to try something, and I mess up, and it's like, or I don't do something, and it's like, I get told, I get yelled at, and it's like, So what now? And as a kid, it's like you don't know. You don't necessarily know how to solve everything. So it's like, of course, you adapt in a way, just so you don't get yelled at, just so you don't, face that feeling. And sometimes I just think about how we influence others and how people influence us, and it's like where it takes us and how we perceive life in that way. Are we taught that failing is okay? Are we taught that it's okay to make mistakes, that we aren't supposed to be perfect, and we don't always necessarily, get everything right the first try? We don't. But I just feel as if too often we're just taught that everything has to be perfect. Everything has to be to their standard. Everything has to be to how they like it. And if not, you may get punished for it. You may get punished, you may, never do it again because of that, as a result of that. So it's, in a way, it's okay to make mistakes, which sounds so obvious. It sounds so obvious, along with the fact that we're human. We make mistakes. We aren't perfect. We are perfect because we're not perfect. The idea that it's like we all fit in because we all have unique characteristics and traits that make us special. What makes us us and separates us from the person right next to you. And that's what really gets me thinking. It's like, for the future, because of course we can work on this on ourselves. We notice a mistake happening, we make a mistake, and what is our first thought that happens? It's like, let me just fix it. It's like, okay, cool, like no big deal. Or is it like, you're a failure, you can't do anything right? And then you associate it to other times, and you build a sense of self where it's like you associate all your mistakes because it's the idea of yourself that you're creating. It's the belief of yourself that you're creating. You associated yourself to that. But in reality, it's like you've had successes too, but you ignore it just because of that idea that you think you're a failure. It's who are you making yourself out to be, and who are you to you? Who are you to you? And at the end of the day, it's like, will you allow yourself to make mistakes? All said and done, will you allow yourself to make mistakes? Will you actually do something about it? Because whether the outcome is not in your control, the outcome, whatever happens, is not in control. So you can't even say if it's a success or a failure. And what do we even classify as a success? Because you say, I want to do it. I want to try this new hobby. I want to do sit-ups. And it's like, sure, you may have a limit. You want to do 10 sit-ups. And it's like, the original objective was just doing sit-ups. And you do some sit-ups, like, that's a success. And you may not have been able to get to 10 sit-ups, but that's something you can work to. That's something you can try and achieve. And it's all a progress. It's all just continuous growth. Because the moment you stop allowing yourself to make mistakes, the moment you stop allowing yourself to just mess up, you stop your growth. Wow, that was huge. Pause. But no, that's what it really is. It's like you stop yourself from growing the moment you stop trying new things, and the moment you say, I don't want to try no more. I'm scared of making mistakes. When in reality, it's like we all make them. We all do. So it's like, how will you move forward? Deep down that mistakes are inevitable, but how do you move forward? How will you continue to push on regardless, or will you stop? Will you stop your growth right there? Will you just stunt your own growth. And to me, that's one of the scariest things: stagnation. Being the same person you are 5 years later, 10 years later, 15 years later, being in that same position, mentally, physically, and, it's even just what you know as a person, your intellect or wisdom, whatever word you want to apply. It's like, I don't want to be stagnant. Just because I see more for myself, and it's just a vision and view for myself. That's what it is. It's just something telling me, keep going. Keep going. That's what it's telling me to do. So sometimes I might be tired, but it's like, okay, you gotta at least try, at least do it. Just do it. Because, even if you tried and you didn't completely do it just because of circumstances, you may be tired, you may have more on your mind, you may have other things you need to do. At least you tried putting effort in. At least you put some effort in, and there could be a time where you can make up for it, or just say, I had to go light today, but the next day, or the next opportunity, I'm gonna just do it. Just holding yourself accountable in a way. I just want to leave it off there, honestly. Because it seemed like I was just wrapping around the same thing. But, there's something on my mind too that I also want to talk about. But it's crazy to think how life is just goes, like, time flies. It may seem like a long day, but like, time flies at the same time. It's funny how that works. But I feel like a lot of our time is just constantly in a routine. In a routine of just doing things that we usually do because it's obligations we have, whether it's work. It's summer now, so there's no school unless you got summer school. So a lot of people are just working or just having fun, and it's like, whatever you do, just do it. Just be cool with it. If you're having fun, have fun. If you're going out, have fun. If you're working, work. Which sounds so obvious, but I'm just rambling at this point. I guess presence is just another thing, just being here in the moment and allowing yourself just to be. And a lot of times I feel like our thoughts hold us back. Our own thoughts and perceptions of things hold us back, Whether we're at a party and we get stuck in our own head thinking about, if I go up and talk to this person, it's like, what will they say? What will they think? When in reality, it's like, you just gotta go for it, and whatever happens, happens, and you got that experience down, and it's like, whether you continue the conversation or ends there, it's like, okay, on to the next. Who knows what you could have got out of that, but even so, it's like you're pushing yourself. But yeah, I'm gonna just leave it off there. Dreamers. I don't know. But love you forever and always. See ya.